I wanted to run through a lot of the features, not even hardware-wise, really software-wise, and I've gone through a lot of these, if not all of these, but I think it's nice to have this long list because we got this great tweet from Bennett who listed out a lot of the new features that are coming out to the S24 Ultra, and I kind of wanted to run those down. And if you want to do the pre-reserve, it's linked down below in the description of the video so you can take advantage of that and lock in up to $150 of not trading credits, $150 of free gifts. So let's get into this. First of all, let's talk about the lock screen. So you can have lock screen widgets are being updated. Live activities, which is going to be a copy from Apple. So you'll have some, live activities that run on that lock screen. New lock screen shortcuts from third-party developers. So not only just Samsung stuff, but third-party developers will now be able to add their own lock screen shortcuts on there for you, which is great. New depth effects and wallpaper styles. So if you like to customize the look and feel of it, you're going to be able to do that in One UI 6.1. Adaptive weather wallpapers that match your weather. So if it's raining, it'll show rain. If it's snowing, it'll show snow right on those lock screen adaptive wallpapers. New clock style. So if you like to change the look of the clock on there, you're going to get more for that. And I love that. I'm not a huge lock screen guy, but having the ability to add more stuff and make it more customized and make it different and more control, I'm so for that. Now the AI stuff is going to be a huge selling point in not only in marketing for the Samsung Galaxy S24 series, but also just in real life stuff. So on-device chatbot and a server-side one potentially as well. So like you'd be able to talk with some kind of bot on there to get answers, to figure out things. I love that. There's a lot of people that don't know how to do things or not sure where to look, and to get a more direct answer rather than just Googling it is so awesome. Improved enhanced X processing and features as well. Improved photo remastering with AI on there, so your photos will come out a lot better, potentially, hopefully. It'll remaster them and add things that are missing or remove things as well. Object eraser for subjects in videos. This is awesome. You're recording a video, someone's video bombing you, or somebody is just, I don't know, someone just isn't, maybe broke up with someone, you want to remove them, or you just want to remove someone that's in the video. You should be able to do that now when this comes out. So it's going to be video object eraser. That's really cool. Nighttime recording has been improved with AI. How many times you record video and it's kind of grainy or it doesn't look good? They should enhance it with AI reproductions. So it's going to be really interesting to try that. Improved space zoom and nighttime space zoom. Space zoom is that 100x zoom or more, 30x to 100x zoom. And it can get grainy, it can get pixelated, it can get weird. And with AI, it should improve a lot of that. I'm not saying it's gonna look as clear as what I look like right now, but it could be much improved from what we get now. And I'm curious if things like that are gonna end up coming over to the other phones like the S23 Ultra, because if they don't, this could be really cool, especially if you love zooming out and taking photos and the AI improves it that much. Samsung Notes organization, so Samsung Notes will be automatically, I guess you can turn it on or off, I would assume, will be organized with AI so that you don't have to do it yourself. That's a neat little feature. Short, smart actions from contextual integration in audio calls. So audio calls are going to be able to be, if you're talking on a call, you can do real-time translation and all of that. And there's also going to be a smart assistant that answers the calls for you. They have one now, but it's not really smart. So Google Pixel has this, and Samsung's going to have it as well. So you can have basically a robot talk for you the whole time if you want, if you don't want to answer a call, and it'll jot it down with text and stuff so you can respond back and you can see it respond back. It's really cool stuff on there. Edit, remove, relocate, and add subjects into images. So maybe you took an image, a selfie of somebody, and then you took three of your friends, and you wanted to put that other friend in there. This should allow you to put them in there fairly easy and make it look like they were there the whole time, or remove somebody, all within editing of the images, all with AI, all with ease. Should be really easy. Expand the borders of photos. So if you take a photo, say of me, and all you see is right here, and it's a mountain, it should be able to create the same look of the mountain so it looks real to the left and the right, so you can create a widescreen image, for instance. How awesome is that? How many times have you taken an image and you're like, dang, I wish it was a little bit wider? You'll be able to do that now with the Galaxy S24 series of phone and AI. And then some Samsung app stuff. You can see the list here. But I think the biggest thing that I would want in there is that I really want the UI and UX, and it says it down the bottom there, overall improved. The animations to really feel improved. I want this phone to feel like, in terms of speed, a Pixel phone, a OnePlus phone, a whatever phone, you name it. Like Motorola has really smooth phones. I want it to feel like that, but I also want to keep all those features that Samsung gives us. I'm not home right now. I'm actually in Vegas for CES. I've been here for a few days, but I kind of mapped out a bunch of my videos to not have to keep putting them out. So the one I have today is quite simple, but it's interesting. The first one is that if you're living in Europe and you're curious about the S24 and S24 Plus, if those phones are going to actually have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor or the Exynos 2400 processor, well, bad news for you, they're going to have the Exynos 2400. The only one that's going to have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 will be the Ultra version of the S24 Ultra. So here in America, we'll get all three of our phones will have the Snapdragon, so it doesn't matter which one you get a very similar experience on all three phones. People in Europe, you'll get a somewhat similar experience, but it won't live up to the Snapdragon power, as you probably know. The other story I have today is a lot of the features that we've been talking about with the S24 series, getting a lot of the AI features and things like that. Some of those things will be exclusive, but then I'm gonna run through a quick list here of features that should also come to the S23 series as well in an update, probably in a month or two, most likely, after the release of the phone, maybe even mere weeks. So let's just run through that real quick. The summarization and translation of web pages and articles with Samsung Internet and AI. So with a tap of the button, you'll be able to summarize a website, and you should be able to do that. Again, all these features I'm going to talk about on the S23 series as well, not just the S24. AI-based image transformation. So by using AI, you can resize, relocate, and completely remove objects from an image. That's a nice little feature to grab on the S23. Quick translation with Galaxy AI, so you can translate several languages with ease using AI. Simply by inputting text or audio, the translator will output a translated version of the text or audio. Circle to search, so all you're gonna do is just do a little circle thing here. You press and hold the home button. Circle and press the home button, and then circle an area on your display. Google image search will appear and search what you have circled, and said circle can be resized as well. Summarize and translate voice recording. So after a recording discussion, the audio will be processed and will provide a script organizing the conversation and separate between people's voices. Then you got cutout, frame, and style your wallpaper. This is obviously on the Pixel. Wallpapers but it's also coming to the S23. Wallpapers will now let you cut out a subject from a scene and have it stand out, such as out of a frame, or have the background grayscale or some other art style. There's also a new calendar clock style and shows that on what you can do. And was that it for now? Yes, that's it for now. I mean, it's probably gonna end up being more stuff as well that ends up coming to the S23 series. And then some stuff will, like I said earlier, a week ago or so, will also be exclusive to the S24 series. So, you know, if you're stuck with the S23 series and you're worried you're gonna miss out on a lot of those features, you don't have to worry that much, because a lot of that stuff, just like normal, will trickle down to some of these other phones. But there was a big leak actually, and I wanna talk about some of that leak. I can't show you photos because I'll get copyright strike, but I'll tell you about some of the details about the S24 series that some of it is known, some of it is not known. So let's go through it. First of all, when we're talking about the larger vapor chamber, which is gonna be great for cooling, it's gonna be up to 1.9 times larger than the last generation phone. Now, on the S24 Ultra, it'll be 1.9 times bigger. On the Plus version, it's 1.6 times bigger, and on the regular S24, it'll be 1.5 times bigger. So better cooling on there, which should give you better performance over the long run of using the phone. In terms of, like, when I say long run, I don't mean like 3 years from now. I'm talking like extended periods of gaming and high performance when they're needed. You should maintain a lot of that performance and really not be bothered by it at all. 12 times faster touch response. So this is great for, say, like a first-person shooter, or just interacting with your phone in general, but mostly probably for gaming. you're gonna get better response rate, meaning that when you touch the phone, it'll eliminate your enemy quicker by, you know, pressing on the weapon or selecting things like that within the game. It's gonna be great for gaming. So if you are a big gamer, you're gonna get much improved touch response. We've next got there's stuff about the cameras in here. I'm just trying to look if there's anything that pops out. 8K video, they talk about it, where you'll be able to do 8K at 1x and 5x in terms of the zoom. We've already spoken about that, but if you didn't know, maybe you didn't see that video, you'll now be able to do that at 8K video. Also will be available at 50 megapixel high-res photos with that telephoto camera. The telephoto system with optical quality, again, we've spoken about this, but 2x, 3x, 5x, and 10x zooms on that. The excellent zoom quality at all ranges, multi-frame processing, super resolution based on deep learning. So again, that AI stuff is going to give you better resolution, better looking photos in general with AI. The immersive display, it's going to have a larger screen with slimmer bezels, which we've seen, you know, the bezels were already really thin, and this is just going to enhance that thinness overall. Brighter outdoor visibility, we talked about that. So 2600 nits versus they're marking off some of these other phones. So it's saying up to 48% brighter in the sun. So when you bring this phone out, you're in the sun's beating on the screen, up to 48% brighter this generation versus, I believe, last generation. Vision booster, so that's going to be a built-in feature of the display. So vibrant color and sharp contrast even outdoors. You're not going to, when the display is not going to get washed out. Basically, it's going to maintain that great quality looking image and also the great colors of it as well. Adaptive color tone adjustment for each surrounding color temperature, again with the display. So all of that stuff will be improved with it overall. You know, this is a really improved device, you know, in a lot of ways. It's not going to look different, but it's going to have a lot of things under the hood and within the surface of the phone, you know, like the display and the processor and things like that, that will improve things a lot. Let me know your favorite feature that I spoke about today in the comments down below. Sorry for the messy background. It's like hectic here. We get a lot of free stuff, and when it's free stuff, it's usually like, I don't know, cookbooks or like notepads and pens and all this little crazy stuff. So that's why it looks crazy. There's actually a lot of snacks over there. A lot of companies give us free snacks too. There was a awesome thing that leaked at CES, and it's a Samsung foldable flip phone, and it's the Flex in and out phone. And this could be the future of the next Galaxy Z Flip phone, and it looks amazing. This video comes from CNET, and I'll link the video down below if you want to watch it in its entirety, but it shows it that you can flip it normally, like down, and the opposite way as well. Now, when you flip it the opposite way, that way you can see both displays, you can use it as a small phone. Now, you can do this also with the Galaxy Z Flip, you know, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all those phones as well. But this one's a little bit different. Again, it can fold, flip either way you want. You can completely close it or you can open it and have both sides exposed, making it a little bit different and potentially a little bit more usable versus the current generation of this phone. Now, will we ever see this phone? Right now it's a concept, so there's a good chance it might not come out, but then there's a really good chance it might as well because of the fact that it looks just like a Z Flip phone. You think that maybe not next year or maybe the year after, we'll probably see something like this. I think we will. It just looks somewhat different, and it's kind of it's one of those phones just like a Z Fold 5 or any folding phone. It grabs people's attention. And this will grab people's attention even more so than the current iteration of the flip phone. So I think it's pretty cool. It's not something I would probably personally want all the time or anytime. I still love my folding phones. I want a bigger display as this, but you know, it's literally one display. You don't have two displays on there like you do the flip phone. So it's that one display that you can flip inward or outward overall. Apple Vision Pro. Now, the pre-order details have leaked out. We've got information on how many they're gonna have available and so much more. And if you don't know what Apple Vision Pro is, it's their $3,500 headset that you wear. It has a battery attached to it on the side that you would kind of have, you know, off your body. And you can use it independently, and you will use it independently of any other device. So you put it on your head and you use it and you're good to go. You don't have to have a phone connected to it or a computer or anything like that. It has apps and everything else that you'd probably want to do with it. Now, what are the details about this? Because the pre-order details, you're gonna have to do it from an Apple device. That is for sure. So let's take a look at those pre-order details directly from Apple. So first of all, the pre-order is on January 19th at 5 a.m. Pacific. If you're on the East Coast, that's 8 a.m. Eastern time. And this is only available in the United States at the time of making this video, so keep that in mind as well. If you're in another country, you're gonna have to figure out a way to get it shipped to an American address and then get it forwarded over to wherever you're living. So just be sure of that. The other part of this is a few tips to make pre-order even easier. Have an iPhone or an iPad with Face ID nearby. When you order Apple Vision Pro, you'll need to scan your face with an iPhone or iPad with Face ID. This helps us determine the right size, light seal, and headband, which work together to give you a precise fit. So it's gonna be used for fitting really more than anything. So you have to use an iPhone or an iPad, and it has to be Face ID ready. So if you have like an old iPhone or iPad that doesn't have Face ID, then you will not be able to use that device and most likely not be able to pre-order this product at the moment. Make sure your Apple Store app is up to date. For the face scan, you'll need the latest version of the Apple App Store, which became available on January 11th. I checked my phone, it's available now, I updated it, so I'm good to go at that point. So just make sure, as of January 11th, you have the latest app update for the Apple Store. Have your Vision prescription handy. Because Apple Vision Pro is designed to be worn without glasses, you'll be partnered with Zeiss to create custom optical inserts that accommodate most prescriptions. When you order, we'll ask a few questions to find out if you need optical inserts. If you do, you'll upload a valid, unexpired prescription from a US eye care professional after checkout. So if you need to wear glasses with this thing, obviously you can't put glasses on, so you'll have inserts that go inside of the Apple Vision Pro, and you'll have to have a valid, up-to-date, unexpired eye care prescription. So a bunch of things there having to do with that. Now, just to keep you on your toes a little bit, Apple's only going to look like produce initially 60 to 80,000 units of Vision Pro for the February 2nd release. Since the shipment is not large, he believes that the Vision Pro will sell out soon after the release. So if you're planning on doing this, do the pre-order, and this thing's gonna sell out quick because there's not a lot of units, even though it's only available in the United States. It says, although Apple has not clearly defined the product positioning and key applications of Vision Pro, the price is not cheap. The user experience, giving others the illusion that they can control the user interface with their minds, created by the groundbreaking technology innovations, along with the base of core fans and heavy users, should make it sell out after the release. So a lot to go over here with the Apple Vision Pro in terms of, it's gonna be hard to get most likely. It's gonna sell out really quick. You're gonna have to use a iPad or an Apple phone with Face ID installed on there. You're gonna have to have a lot of money. I think it's $3,500 plus tax. If you get the inserts, that's gonna add even more money, looking at over $4,000 for this thing. And I mean, the demo videos and the show, it looks awesome. I have to admit, it looks really, really cool. Some of the things that hold me back about it are that it needs a battery attached that you have to, it only gives you like 2 hours of battery life. It's gonna work basically everywhere, which is great. I love that feature, but I don't know. I guess I have to use it to really see if it would fit into my life. Or actually a couple stories today about Samsung Galaxy S24 and One UI 6.1. I want to jump into One UI 6.1 because it's finally going to bring, reportedly anyway, better, cleaner, faster animations. So your phone should feel faster and smoother than ever, catching up to Pixel phones and OnePlus phones and other phones on the market as well. This information coming from Ice Universe, a few details about the new animations and One UI 6.1. The animations frame rate has been improved again compared to One UI 6.0, which means that the animation will look smoother and more delicate. I love seeing that. Remove the background blur effect. I think Samsung considered that it would increase power consumption. The background scaling animation is greatly improved. It becomes non-linear, and the wallpaper scales great, which is larger than iOS's scaling and making the animation look very vivid. when the icon is scaled back to its original position, there is a more obvious elastic animation. Number 5, and maybe one of the best, continuously open and close the app without any glitches. It is very stable and smooth. The change from One UI 6 to 6.1 is very great, and I believe you will be soon realize what I said. So great news, guys. I mean, this is one of the things that, well, someone calls me, this is one of the things that I have to have. I want my Samsung phones. I love Samsung phones generally, but the smoothness and the fluidity of the OS and just jumping back and forth with the thing sometimes can get, I don't know all the words to say. I wouldn't call it this bad, but a little bit clunky sometimes, not as smooth and fluid as I would want. So if One UI 6.1 truly brings this, we're in for a big treat. But the biggest treat of all, guys, has to do with getting a Galaxy S24 series of phone. Why? Because you're gonna get up to 7 years, reportedly, of OS updates. That's right. Your support for software wouldn't run out until 2031. It's 2024 right now. It's 2031 then. I'll be in a completely different decade of age by then. It's insane, guys. This is huge, huge news that Samsung's going to reportedly give us 7 years of software updates. We have a huge day because there's a new product that's potentially going to be announced at Unpacked that we haven't really spoken that much about. And also we're going to go through the Galaxy S24. But first, the product that potentially will be coming out at Unpacked in just a couple of days here. And this is potentially a watch that I will want, and I can't show it off because it potentially is going to look, this might be the look of it, but it's going to have a square watch face like an iWatch, Apple Watch. It's going to be called the Galaxy Fit 3. It's going to have a 1.61 inch display, pixel density of 302 ppi, weight of 21 grams, aluminum body, up to 21 days of battery life, come in the colors of gray, silver, pink, and gold. Now, it'll have a colored watch display and stuff, which I don't know how it's gonna get 21 days of battery life with that. I'm assuming it probably doesn't have, you know, LTE built into it, which wouldn't be a surprise, but it still's gotta have, and maybe it won't even have Wi-Fi. Maybe those are the two things that aren't in it that it won't have, but it'll have like Bluetooth, who knows? But ultimately, I love the square watch face, and if it just gives me my notifications and I don't even need apps really all that much on there, this might be a winner for me. So keep your eyes peeled on this. This could be as low as $129. Our last story that has to do with the new additions to the Galaxy S24 that really weren't in the S23 and the improvements overall with it. So let's get to that list. This is coming from Anthony the Galax, and he listed out very nicely for us from the 1 to 120 hertz refresh rate display now. It always had that 120 hertz refresh display rate, but ultimately it'll go as low as 1 hertz to give you a little bit better battery life. 2600 nits of brightness, very bright. The brightest display on a Galaxy S24, 23, 22 ever is 2600 nits now. Thinner symmetrical bezels, so those bezels will be smaller. Bigger vapor chamber, so it's gonna be better for cooling and give you a better performance over a long period of time. AI features like live translation and circle search. So it's gonna have all those AI features built in that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. And 7 years of OS updates, which is absolutely humongous. And if you wanna take advantage of the pre-reserve, I'll link it down below. It allows you to lock in up to $150 of free gifts, so make sure you take advantage of that if you're interested in pre-ordering / reserving the phone at the very least. So you're not committed to anything, it's just putting yourself in line in case you want to. Let me know your favorite thing about the S24, the plain S24. What do you think its most powerful feature is? I think for me, its best feature is gonna end up being that super bright display. I think that's gonna move and turn a lot of heads like it has, that it's gonna do for the whole line of that phone. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.